waking up to the fact that in Kentucky, 42%. Now, we all know that Kentucky is not going to be in play in the general election, but it is beyond hilarious that 42% of those voting in the presidential election would vote for uncommitted. And just to put that in some kind of comparison relative to the Republican primary, Mitt Romney won 77%, and uncommitted was 5%.
What's uncommitted? Is that a horse?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's on the ballot, uncommitted.
Really?
They put it on the ballot, uncommitted. So you can vote. And the same thing happened in Arkansas. It's just amazing. And Joe Biden, good old Uncle Joe, comes out and says, the Tea Party's number one goal is to keep Barack Obama from being reelected. No kidding, Joe! And guess what, Joe Biden? You act like that's a bad thing. That is a good thing, Uncle Joe. He goes on to say, and they do this without any regard for the economy. Really, Joe? It's the economy that the Tea Party's trying to save. I'm telling you, folks, if you listen to the people that speak on behalf of the American government and you, the taxpayer, these individuals that you've elected, it's incredible. And it is amazing. You have to sit back and wonder how they ever achieved the offices of which they obtained. How did they get there? In fact, oh, God. I guess they get there because nobody else is running or caring or anything else. I don't get it. In the 4th District over here in northern Kentucky, we were very lucky that, and this is an embarrassment for Gary Moore, I think. Thomas Massey won 45% of the vote. 45% of the vote. Webb Edgington, who had the support of Jeff Davis and Jim Bunning, won 28% of the vote. Gary Moore, the Boone County Judge Executive, who I thought would be the front runner, 15% of the vote. I mean, Massey crushed. Oh, and by the way, Marcus Carey got 1 or 2%. Sorry, Marcus, you backstabber. Bill Atkins won the Democrat. This is funny. Now, this was not a surprise. Bill Atkins, my lawyer buddy, he's a flaming liberal. 68%. He beat by a 2-1 margin his opponent, a guy named last name of Frank. Frank was actually a Democrat Tea Party guy. So you know he's going to lose in a Democrat primary. There's no way a Tea Party guy is going to beat a liberal in a Democratic primary. Bill Atkins has zero chance. Well, you can't say zero because you always got to throw something bizarre or weird happen. So we could say 1% chance of winning the election. But it's not going to happen. I mean, the Republicans, this is a Republican congressional district. Bill Atkins isn't going to be able to raise any of the money or have the organization necessary to do this. John Schickel won the 11th senatorial district. Damon Thayer. Chris McDaniel, the Tea Party candidate. I know Bill Terward. He's a nice guy. Kind of goofy, but I like the kid. But Chris McDaniel's the Tea Party candidate, so it doesn't bother me at all that Chris McDaniel won. Diane St. Ung, I didn't pronounce that right, state rep. Adia Wookner won the 66th district, which was a close race. She beat Kathy Flagg. I thought Kathy Flagg would win that. Thomas McKee won the 78th House seat. But the big news is Thomas Massey, the Tea Party candidate, went, and that's a message. And you know who's got to be nervous? This is hilarious. Mitch McConnell. Rand Paul beat his guy, Trey Grayson, Mitch McConnell's guy, for the United States Senate. And now you have Rand Paul's man, who he came out for 100%, for Thomas Massey, who wasn't in the didn't live in northern Kentucky. He's from Lewis County. and he wins. This is what Massey said. In 2010, the concerned people of Kentucky, they gathered together and sent a message to the career politicians in Washington, to the elites up there, that we are sick and tired of business as usual in Washington. They did. That was 2 years ago. We still don't have a budget, much less a balanced budget. This is 2012, and the sentiment has not changed one bit. Amen. I agree. You know, Barack Obama admitted he had a butt whooping. The Democrats got a butt whooping in 2010. Does it change anything? Do they listen? Do they hear what the people say? No, they don't. The Kentucky turnout was 13.8%. But
President doesn't have a lot of friends in Kentucky, does he?
No, nor does he in West Virginia. By the way, Kentucky's a coal state. You know, when you go publicly and you say, I mean, I bet you this is a first in American history. A president goes public on television and says, I'm going to bankrupt the coal industry. What? It isn't like he was saying, I'm going to bankrupt the cocaine business. He went on the air and said, I'm going to bankrupt the coal industry. That's like a president going and said, I'm going to bankrupt the computer electronics industry. I'm going to bankrupt the automobile industry. I mean, how can anyone, I challenge any Democrat, any socialist, how can you defend your president as not being some type of an anti-capitalist socialist whack job when he comes out and says he's going to bankrupt the coal industry?
I think he pulled an Uncle Joe on us. I think he said it and then realized that was not the smartest thing I could have said. I really do.
Well, it wasn't very smart. I got an event I want to promote. It's called Ride 430. And this is going to be on my newsletter and blog, which you can find on Real Talk 1160, my Facebook page, thebulldogNation.com. David Schulte sent me some information. He's going to ride his bike 430 miles to raise money for injured soldiers. That's helping. This benefits the Injured Marine Semper Fi Fund, the Knights of Heroes Foundation, and another organization that helps families. Today, the quote of the day, there is no saying to what length an enterprising man may push his good fortune. Thomas Massey's probably thinking that today. You know, started a company, went to MIT, now he's a congressman. In 1934, Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker, Bonnie and Clyde, were shot to death, gunned down in a police ambush in Bidenville Parish, Louisiana. 1935, this is funny, the first scheduled night game was postponed due to rain. That was held in Cincinnati. And it was postponed due to, I wonder if rain like electrocuted anybody. You know, they had lights, cords ran.
They stop it. They see lightning. Every sporting event has to. Yeah. That's it. It's suspended.
Was that the way it was in 35 or in 35? They said, play on, get in there, get in that batter's box. 1945, Winston Churchill resigned as British Prime Minister. 1963, NBC purchased the 1963 AFL Championship game for $926,000. And birthdays today, we have Kelly Monaco, Jewel, who's 38, Kelly's 35, and Drew Carey is 51. 51 years old, good old Drew. What's he doing these days?
Is he hosting some game
Price is
shows?
Right still?
Yeah,
Still hosting Price is Right?
He's a local guy. Well, sort of. He's from Cleveland, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Cleveland.
He's an Ohio player.
3-day forecast, mostly sunny, high of 83. Thursday, sunny, high of 88. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 90. Sad to report a military death. Specialist Samuel T. Watts, 20, of Wheaton, Illinois, died when an enemy exploded an improvised explosive device. Isn't it a shame that we all know what that is? Jackwagon. Joe Biden's a jackwagon. Listen to this. This is his quote. I don't live like I did when I was growing up. I have a beautiful home. You pay me a lot of money. But I remember. God, Joe. Joe. You can't top Joe, can you? I mean, it's incredible. A very short joke today. I'll ask TC the joke. How did Bill and Hillary meet?
I don't know. How did Bill and Hillary meet?
They had the same girlfriend in college.
Oh.
We come back. We got pop culture, radio suburbia, and TC. You let me know when you want to play your first feel-good song.
I'm ready. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
When we come back, we'll see what TC has chosen. The Bulldog on Real Talk 1160.
Real Talk 1160. In about 11 minutes, you get to hear Bill O'Reilly's Talking Points coming up at 7:28 on Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Also to add as a birthday, Sharon Morris.
Yeah.
Who's one of those girls that work for me here in Cincinnati who never shows up on time, but she brings us brownies.
Ah, we like her.
She tries to bribe her delinquency of being late with brownies.
It's working.
Happy birthday, Sharon.
Yes. Now go get your
And I don't know
license.
how old she is. I think women, don't they stay at the age of 21?
Yeah, that's it. She's 21. She's legal today.
I have some lots of emails and lots of messages that we got. Where did I do with them? Well, I have to find them at the next break. But lots of fun stuff that people sent me an email. And I also got 2 hats that were dropped off by Jeff Harvey of TLC Limousine Inc.'s Trolleys. One term. One term hats. Monday, we heard, I'm assuming that we don't have to work Monday, do we?
Yeah, no, we don't have to work.
I was thinking about taping a memorial show and doing all that. I decided, no, I don't think so. I'd rather just be off.
Yeah.
I want to give some fun Memorial Day facts, though. Originally known as Decoration Day, it was observed on May 30th, 1868, as a day to set aside and honor the nation's Civil War casualties by decorating their graves with flowers and flags. The last Monday of May was chosen to coincide with the time when flowers would be blooming all over the country.
Really?
New York was the first state to officially recognize Memorial Day. Now you know why it was chosen. On Memorial Day, the flag should be half-staff until noon, then raised to the top of the staff. The custom of wearing red poppies on Memorial Day started in 1915 and was inspired by the famous Moyna Michaels poem in Flanders Fields. We cherish, too, the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies that blood of heroes never dies. Goosebumps! And in 1971, Congress declared Memorial Day a national holiday. Let the picnics begin, parades too. And in 2004, Washington, D.C. held its first Memorial Day parade in over 60 years. What took them so long?
I know.
TC, what do you got for us?
I just want to mention this. I know everybody's going to have a Memorial Day parade in their community, but the only people that sent me any information was Florence. Theirs starts at 11 o'clock on Monday. So, Boone County area, go to Florence, go check out the parade.
Yeah.
I know they've got them all over the area.
Hey,
so.
I guarantee you, chances are your town's got a parade. Independence has one. Fort Thomas. There's a ton of them in Northern Kentucky and in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So what's the feel-good song, TC?
Are you ready for the feel-good song
Yes,
now?
yes.
All right. Now, what is that? What was going on there? All right, here we go.
Don't press the wrong button, TC.
I've been doing that all day. Now, I went through, and I couldn't decide which feel-good song to start with. I thought I'd give you something easy. All right? Didn't want to make it too difficult for you. Think back to high school, college days.
I like the Cars.
Love the Cars.
The Cars.
Want to make it easy for you.
What's this guy's name, the lead singer?
Rick Ocasek.
Rick Ocasek. I love that song. That name. Rick Ocasek. I like this, TC.
I knew you would. You've got good taste.
She making her play. She can't go wrong.
Here's my favorite part.
TC the drummer.
Everybody's bobbing their heads.
She's
stuck in
17. She better stay away from those 21-year-old male teachers.
Or Hillary.
Hold her down. Let's go. By the way, this album was incredible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How many hits were on it?
I don't know.
It was...
It was like every song is great.
The Cars' Greatest Hits album is a great album.
And that's the greatest hits.
Yeah.
Really.
They ruled the world, didn't they?
They did.
What year was this?
I want to say like...
Late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah, late 70s. You're right. Because there was a radio station in town that's no longer here but they had Pete Rose doing a commercial for him. And it was like him doing a montage of all these songs, and this was one of them. Do you remember that?
The late 1970s, early 80s, in my opinion, is the best years of music and music history.
I can't argue with you on that one.
I mean, it's incredible. And you think about the people that came on the scene, the people that rejuvenated. I mean, AC/DC's Back in Black album.
Yeah,
Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album.
Yeah.
You had Michael Jackson. That was when he was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's on and on. Seeger. I mean, all the classic rock.
You're right. Now, this one especially for those that are stuck in traffic on 471. You got to be stuck there, so enjoy the music. Bob your head, okay? Look at the guy in the car next to you. Is he bobbing his head? He's listening too.
It's amazing. It's amazing, the traffic in the morning. Thank God we don't live in Chicago or someplace like that. That would be even worse.
Well, see, this song makes it all better.
It does. Good choice, TC.
Thank you. All right.
Good choice. Good choice.
Love the cars.
Here's the fan mail and emails. And I want to say that I agree with Bulldog Nation member Carlos. He goes, how many white guys without a driver's license did they pull over that night for going 93 and arrest them? 0. I will guarantee you Aroldis Chapman, if he was a white guy, I'm taking up for him, would not have been arrested. That is hog. He said, well, his license was suspended. Well, here's what you do. You cite him to court. You don't get arrested. I know because, let me give you an example. People that work for me, people in my own family, I know they have pulled over and they didn't realize their license was suspended and they were speeding is why they were pulled over. Not arrested.
Yeah.
Not arrested. Here's an email. This is a good one about Michelle Obama. I reported yesterday she may run for the Senate seat in Illinois. She says, at least Michelle won't have to purchase that seat. It's probably been paid for in ways we will never know. After a little organizing, assisting folks with public assistance, and ruining the fast food industry, it's on to the White House.
Ruining the fast food industry?
I don't know. This is what she said.
Oh, that's because there's nothing healthy at the fast food restaurant. Is that what he said?
Yeah. Bulldog, I just had a random thought I had to share. How hot is Khaleesi, Mother of Dragons on Game of Thrones? Oh, my Lord. Bulldog Nation member Rick from Preble County, Bulldog Nation. We have a Bulldog Nation chapter in Preble County. And I just want to, I just want to say this, Rick. Hot. When she woke up, when she came back, when she was burnt up in the flames, they thought she was burnt up in the flames, and then the flames went away. Holy cow. This is nice. Figure weight loss in Edgewood. Wants yours truly to be their spokesperson and go to their program. Steve Jarnicki's got me signed up for it. So I'm going to go to see them on Thursday at 11 o'clock. I got to get fit as a fiddle, of course, for all my television stuff.
So they think that you're unfit now?
Well, I admitted I was. But get this, though. Yesterday, TC, I did a 2-hour interview with Lifetime on the Nicole Howe case.
Oh, really?
They're doing a big shebang about that. The Bulldog will be national again on Lifetime.
Are they going to make that a made-for-TV movie?
They ought to, starring me as me.
No, who should you have somebody big playing you, like George Clooney?
George Clooney playing the Bulldog. I'll vote for that on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog. Or as my caller Mohammed used to say, Bulldog. On Real Talk 1160. Final email. Hello, Eric. Reading your blog today from Essex, Connecticut.
Nice. Keep
it coming, John. And Bulldog Nation member Mike said he was jamming to the Cars in Sandusky.
Really?
I'm telling you, we are building a fan base wide and far.
Nice. Nice to have some folks from Cleveland area.
Sandusky. You ready for some pop culture, TC?
I am ready for pop culture.
Meta World Peace, a.k.a. Jack Wagon, Ron Artest.
Beat the crap out of you.
Called his coach a fat A.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, ride the pine for a while.
TC, the most expensive car to own, apparently, according to the Wall Street Journal, is a Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, $210,000, only 707 registered.
Whoa.
I'll have to get me one of those after my Facebook stock becomes worth nothing. Dancing with the Stars, Green Bay Packers wide receiver Donald Driver wins. But I tell you, the pro athletes always win.
Yeah, a lot of football players. They have skills.
After accepting the Millennium Award on her mother's behalf on stage Sunday, 19-year-old Bobby Christina Brown hit the MGM Grand slot machines, and both the hotel and Nevada Gaming Commission have launched an investigation.
Why?
I have no idea. Why is that a lawbreaker? Because she's only 19, maybe.
Oh, okay.
That explains it.
Well, then talk to the bouncers. How'd you get in?
Olympian Lola Jones. She's a female, if you didn't know.
Really?
The 29-year-old says being a virgin hinders finding a boyfriend. Come on, there's got to be some nice young men that have
Tebow.
more on their mind. Tim Tebow.
You know?
Bingo.
You guys can work out together.
Absolutely. Roger Ailes told the Huffington Post that Jon Stewart wouldn't do well without Fox, and he basically has admitted to me in a bar that he's a socialist.
What? He's a socialist? Really?
You shouldn't have revealed that, Roger. All right, are you ready for the number one Maxim Hot 100?
Yes.
Bar, what's her how do you pronounce her last name? She's the Israeli supermodel.
I looked.
Raphael,
I don't think
Raphael, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. We just say Bar.
Yeah, we know.
Number 2 is Olivia Munn. Number 3 is Mila Kunis. Number 4 is Katy Perry. I don't want to tell you something.
Really?
I can understand Bar. And I can even understand Olivia. And I wouldn't put Mila's third or Katy fourth.
No, I think Katy Perry's in there because of her California Girls video.
Kate Gosselin is surprised networks are unwilling to sign her for new reality show. Kate, you don't have anything else to share. And furthermore, the Bulldog shows are going to bump everybody. So just get in line.
Wait till those 8 kids get to college.
There you go. Now, that'd be a show.
Really?
Kanye West, a rap prodigy, 2 Chainz, was arrested at LaGuardia Airport in New York after cops says he was packing brass knuckles in his carry-on bag. Whoopee freaking weed.
Now, I don't want to interrupt you here. I don't mean to interrupt you, okay, because Kanye's arrest was great, but Snoop Dogg's arrest was better, was so much better.
It's a better arrest, isn't it? More than 1 in 4 Americans saying having a Mormon as president would cause concern for themselves. Why? I mean, kind of, you know what, that is... See, I'm showing my tolerance. Who cares if he's Mormon? At least he's not Obama. The Reagan Presidential Foundation is threatening legal action over that online sale of his dried up blood. Apparently, it's up to $14,000 now.
Get out.
That's a sick dude, man.
Who's buying that? Angelina Jolie?
This is the best pop culture story of the day. Should have saved this for last, but here we go. The monkey population of Delhi, India. I also like to ask why we put this in pop culture. The monkey population of Delhi, India has grown large and aggressive, overwhelming the city's efforts to control it. But Hindu tradition calls for feeding the monkeys twice a week. So even though the monkeys are attacking and killing innocent Indians, you still got to feed the monkeys. Along with the cows. You got cows walking around, crapping everywhere. You got monkeys attacking you. Who the hell wants to go to India?
Well, they've got a booming economy, and the monkeys are going to bring them down. You watch.
You mentioned Tebow. Chuck Schreiner was disciplined for the move, the Tebow move, because his mother, a teacher at the school, felt it would set a precedent for underclassmen. According to Chuck, she disciplined him by keeping his diploma and making him clean the gym.
What?
My goodness, he was disciplined by his own mom. Let me tell you something, Chuck. Sue, become independent and get rid of your mom.
Wait a minute. All the things that Ocho Cinco has done, touchdown victories, and the Tebow moves is wrong? I don't get that.
Berkeley Police Chief Michael Meehan has opened himself up to a round of controversy after it was reported that he dispatched 10 officers to look for his son's missing iPhone. And they didn't find it. Come on, Ben! We gotta go find my son's iPhone! Oh, my... Well, yeah, come on, man. You're a police chief. You don't have the good sense to say, man, this might be a bad idea.
Yeah, no. For what they spent, he could have gone and bought a new one.
I think pop culture might be my favorite part of our show, just because of the stupid stuff.
Can you see Silas sending the Hamilton County Sheriffs out? You gotta find
his boat, his airplane, his helicopter. He sends it all. Land, air, and sea. We will find that iPhone.
Attention all cars.
Now here's a good rest in peace for us. Eugene Polly, a Zenith engineer, invented the Flashmatic remote control for television and spent years reminding people he was the device's sole inventor. That's what I invented. I don't blame you, Eugene. If I invented the remote control, I would brag to high heaven too, and I would make sure everybody knew it was me.
He's the godfather of couch potatoes.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, the guy that invented the Moog synthesizer, 78 years old today.
Listen to this. The Flashmatic, it actually was like a beam or something.
Yeah.
It's like a light beam. Laser that TV up.
And then they used it in Men in Black, didn't they? To erase your memory.
Correct, they did. Local news. The residents, diners, and contractors at the Banks development in Cincinnati's riverfront may pump $91 million a year in the local economy, a new report. How do you like that?
Okay.
When Cincinnati police arrived Monday at a Mount Auburn address to serve a search warrant, they seized 2 4-foot alligators. Isn't that special, as Church Lady would say? Local unemployment rate allegedly has slid to 7.1. Yeah, I believe it. Now
Wait a minute. Don't be a downer now. You said allegedly.
I don't believe it, man. I know too many people looking for jobs. Did you see where 53% of kids age 18 to 25, 53% are unemployed or underemployed?
Yeah. Yes. They were talking about that on America's Morning News. And they're not just competing with college grads for jobs or high school grads. They're competing with people like us that are already in the workforce,
right,
trying to hold on to a job.
Dustin Colwell, 35, is accused of hiding a hypodermic syringe in his anus after Cincinnati police arrested him Sunday for crashing into a parked car and consuming heroin. A Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy discovered Colwell with the syringe at the Hamilton County Justice Center. Can you imagine applying and getting that job? Yeah, man, we need an anus inspector down here at the jail. Can you imagine the kind of anuses, the size of the anuses, the smell of the anuses that you would have to inspect at the Hamilton County Justice Center? I would not apply. I would starve. I would eat grass. I would live on the streets before I was an anus inspector at the Hamilton County Justice Center.
Well, what about this jackwagon that took the syringe and put it there?
That's what this guy did.
I mean, I couldn't do that.
And since you're a black man, you'll be happy to know this, TC, that only a few people showed up for the Ku Klux Klan McDonald's meeting yesterday.
Oh, well, that's good.
Apparently some people wanted him arrested, and the sheriff said, hey, man, they're peaceful. They didn't violate any rules. He actually took pity on them, I think, because there was only like 4 of them showed up.
Was the McWizard there?
I mean, gosh.
The Grand McWizard?
The Ku Klux Klan is such a joke. Yeah. I mean, it really is. And the people that you see in the news that are part of it are crazy-looking skinhead dudes. I mean, they're not. They don't come off as very, how should I say this? Very good racist recruiter.
Yeah, they lost their momentum, and that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, like back when it first started in Indiana, they were like normal-looking white guys starting the Ku Klux Klan. I'll be a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Now, man, you look at these skinhead-looking dudes with eyeballs going in different directions, tattoos all over their body. I don't think I want to become one of them guys.
They're just as scary looking, but I think the occupiers are more dangerous.
That Dees guy, that lawyer down in Alabama, sued them over something they did and basically bankrupted them.
Wow.
He bankrupted him. Yeah, he's a hero.
What are we going to do now, guys?
I'm telling you, white racist supremacists, they're jackwagons. We come back sports. 4 guys showing up at McDonald's. I'll see you on Real Talk 1160.
Remember, Real Talk 1160 is still on the Underpriced Facebook. You can keep tabs of your favorite talk show hosts and listen to live streaming right here on Real Talk 1160. Go to facebook.com/Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog.
Hey, Brad said he saw the Ku Klux Klanners, 4 guys down at the Critton at McDonald's. And he said they had their white garb on?
Yeah, they had their white garb on. Standing outside of McDonald's.
With signs?
Pulling signs. And you're right, for some reason their eyes always look messed up.
They look like they're heroin users. But listen, I want to tell you something. Somebody said they should have went to Burger King.
Nothing classier than McDonald's to have your monthly meetings at.
BKKK.
I like making fun of them. You guys are going to laugh at me. There's something called Sparks Notes, which is like Cliff Notes.
Okay.
And I bought a whole stack of them.
Yeah.
And I've been reading them about great works of... I can be a nerd, man. I can be a geek. And I'm actually reading these, like, famous works of literature just to kind of refresh my memory. Yeah. And the one that I read on Saturday was To Kill a Mockingbird.
Ah.
And,
Sin to Kill a Mockingbird.
that is a great book about racial prejudice. But anyway, moving on to sports.
That's right.
Brandon Phillips hit a pair of home runs, and Matt Latos. Every time I hear Matt Latos, I think of Matt Lactose. Pitched 7 strong innings to lift to the Reds. And this is an interesting story from the Enquirer. Caleb Lloyd, who caught that back-to-back home runs, with Leake and Stubbs, which that fan... That has to have never happened in the history of baseball.
Right.
I mean, catch 2 home runs back to back.
I mean, they were hitting the exact same spot.
I mean, that is...
Yeah.
That's 1 in a trillion.
Right.
Anyway, they let him be the honorary captain of the team, go out and turn in the lineup card to the umpires,
Is that right?
hang out in the dugout and everything else.
Sweet.
And he goes to Thomas More College, home of the Saints. Tonight, 7:10, Braves. Bronson is on the mound. He will face Brave starter Tommy Hanson. By the way, I think Bronson and Leake are having a contest who can grow their hair the longest. The Heat beat the Pacers. I mean, drilled them. 115-83 at home, so now they go back to Thursday. Right when the Pacers had the Heat. Down 2-1, winning to 8 at halftime. It's turned around. And David West is hurt. Got a bad ankle. Granger's got a bad ankle. The Pacers are falling apart. The Kings beat the Coyotes 4-3 and win the West Finals. Let me see what else is going on. The NFL is going to require thigh and knee pads for 2013. Put on those knee pads. Let me see if there's anything else good.
Florence Freedom won.
Florence Freedom won.
Yeah.
Oakland may lose the basketball team, the Golden State Warriors. Oakland is a poor part of California. But they still have their athletics.
I didn't know there was.
They might lose their Warriors.
Uh-oh.
Let me see. That's all I got in
You seem
sports.
a little sad about that.
I do. I hate to see towns lose their teams. They grew up with them, man. The Golden State Warriors, all those glorious NBA championships, they didn't win.
They all those. Wait till next year's.
That is when you think about it, like, gosh, some of these pro teams that have never, ever, the Bengals at least got to the Super Bowl twice.
Right.
Cleveland has never even made it to the Super Bowl.
It's amazing that city is not bankrupt.
I mean, how do you keep rooting for a team? The Cleveland Cavaliers never, ever make it to the NBA Finals. I mean... Yeah, why do you buy season ticket? You must love the sport.
You know what they ought to do? Remember Wide World of Sports used to do those celebrity, challenges or whatnot?
Yes, they did. I used to like those.
Those were great, weren't they?
Wide World of Sports, those challenges, right.
I say you get the Cubs, you get the Mets, and you get the Cavaliers, and maybe the Bengals. Let them all play. Give them all a chance. It'll be like the Special Sports Olympics. Give them all a chance to feel good about themselves.
Give them a chance to win. Win something. Hey,
exactly.
We just want everybody to know the Mets, the Cubs, the Browns, and the Bengals. Everybody's going to get a ribbon today. Everybody's going to get a trophy today. You don't have to worry. You're not going to go home without something in your hands.
Because everyone is special, even you, Mike Brown.
The Special Olympics of pro sport. That's a good idea. Saturday Night Live, where are you? All right, and some general news. Counterfeit electronic parts from China are getting into our military system, including special operations, helicopters, and surveillance planes. How the heck does this happen? Counterfeit parts from China.
We've got military equipment made in China?
That's messed up right there, doesn't it? I mean, that's messed up. A new Al-Qaeda video calls for a covert jihad to launch cyber attacks in the U.S. using monkeys. No, they didn't say monkeys.
All those monkeys from
all,
India.
all the monkeys from India they want to unleash upon us. Start pressing buttons. Start pressing buttons, monkeys.
Sounds like a Will Smith movie coming up there.
Yeah, by the way, Will Smith is getting some grief for slapping that guy that tried to kiss him on the lips. I say, Will Smith, you slap away.
You should have knocked him out.
Somebody tries to kiss me. Bulldog Nation member Ryan and I agree. A guy tries to kiss you, you're allowed to slap him.
At least.
At least twice.
Yeah.
By the way, that teacher in North Carolina that got in trouble for, basically, chewing out that kid for criticizing Barack Obama and everything else?
Yeah.
And that kid, how's it to be a teacher now? Everybody's recording everything you say. Did you see the video interview of that kid?
No.
Oh my God. He's a long-haired friend of Jesus, man.
Oh, is he?
Oh my God. But I'm sure he's a good kid.
Yeah.
But he's a wild-looking kid.
Yeah, well,
he set that teacher up because, of course, he knows he's recording this.
Right.
Kind of feel sorry for that crazy loony teacher in a way.
Now, if he puts that on YouTube, you pay for his college tuition.
Absolutely. Famous. Instant fame. U.S. Airways jet traveling from Paris to North Carolina was diverted to Maine on Tuesday after a French passenger handed a note to a flight attendant saying, "I've had a surgically implanted device." What the heck would you do that for in the first place? This is a weird story. New York Times reporting that sexual assault rate in tribal lands is higher than the national average. What's up with the Indians raping women? That's weird. Authorities near Chicago are trying to identify people linked to the anti-racist group who allegedly burst into a restaurant and beat a group of diners they believe to be white supremacists. I tell you right now.
Crittenden?
No, Chicago. Chicago was nuts with this NATO people. And these Occupy Wall Streeters and occupiers, they're not like volunteers or people just showing up. This is now a paid movement for anarchy. It ought to scare the hell out of you. In legal news, Facebook. By the way, if you bought Facebook shares, Facebook is now down. They're down 18%. Let's just go ahead and round it down to 20%. 20%. I mean, it's like, but I thought of this. I think Mark Zuckerberg is smart. He's probably doing this on purpose. He knows the shares are all going to go down.
Yeah.
He's going to buy them all back. All the shares when they hit low. And they're going to go back up, and he's going to make another fortune. I'm serious.
That would be wise. That would be very wise.
Regulators are concerned that Morgan Stanley and other banks may have shared information with certain clients and not others. In other words, their big clients, they said, hey, we just want to let you know that this isn't going to work out very well. But they didn't tell the little investors. And because the NASDAQ screw up, there are some people right now, they don't even know if they got the stock. And they don't even know if they got the stock, if they could sell the stock, because they don't know if they own the stock. So there's going to be lawsuits against the bankers, lawsuits against Facebook, lawsuits against NASDAQ. It's a big mess.
Well, maybe that's why the president is so dead set against Wall Street. That's why he hates him so much.
Yeah, he hates him, all right. A U.S. soldier of Muslim faith went on trial for attempted murder for allegedly planning to detonate a bomb near Texas Army base. That's been a while since that happened, but he's ready to go. Hey, and in John Edwards' trial, 4 days of deliberation and no verdict. If I'm John Edwards, I'm ready to faint.
Hair's falling out of his head as we speak.
He's going to get convicted, I'm afraid. Unless they're hung up. See, that's another thing. That could be a good sign, a hung jury.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Let me see if there's anything else worth reporting in the law. No, there's not. When we come back, we'll talk about Uncle Joe Biden. The Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160.
Are we having fun yet?
We're having a blast, baby.
Sun is shining. Warm today.
Joe Biden said, imagine where we'd be if the Tea Party hadn't taken control of the House of Representatives. Joe, I think about that every day and I break out in a cold sweat. He says, there are groups set on obstructionism. Yeah, obstructing Barack Obama from destroying America. They have an overwhelming goal, prevent President Obama from a second term with apparently no care of the consequences of the economy. Yes, I'm afraid so, Joe.
What do you think Dennis Miller thinks about that?
I don't know. What does Dennis Miller think? was funny.
Just found that in. I don't know where that came from.
Where the heck did that come from?
No, I'm just flipping through and just look at that file. Let's play that.
Do you have any green water stuff for us today?
Matter of fact, we do. We had a green water yesterday, and today we get part 2 of that green water. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I would love to hear green water.
Here you go.
This is some guy with a microphone. Remember when you was a kid stranded on that desert island with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife? Remember how you and
Ginger.
Skipper used to sneak over to Ginger and Mary Ann's hut late at night?
Yes.
With a bottle of great tasting, slimy living green water and some coconut milk? Remember how Mary Ann used to have to hold Ginger's hair because she puked in the lagoon? Good times. Well, you can relive those great castaway days with great tasting, slimy living green water. It's all natural, fresh from the creek, and algae sweet. It made you sick then, and it'll make you sick now. And green water's strong enough to patch a 6-inch hole in a boat. So pick up some great tasting, slimy living green water today, and then run for the nearest lagoon.
Green water available at Queen Cake.
I like that. Fresh from the creek and taste sweet.
Algae sweet. That's right.
Algae sweet.
That's why it's green.
I love it. Good job. The other guy in the microphone, how much are we paying him?
Very little.
Good.
Yeah, we gave him a couple of shares of Facebook stock.
I mean, he deserves it, but we just can't afford it right now. Hawaii verified Obama's birth records to the Arizona's election chief.
Again.
Now we'll see if they put him on the ballot. You know what? I don't know what's the big deal about putting Obama on the ballot, because obviously uncommitted is going to beat him.
Uncommitted is going to win the Preakness. Watch.
Hey, wouldn't it be hilarious if uncommitted won the Democratic primary?
God. Oh my God.
What would happen? What would happen if uncommitted got more votes?
There'd be a lot of cheering, but not a lot of
There'd be a
speeches.
lot of people raising their hands saying, "Hey, that's me. My name's uncommitted."
A lot of single guys would take that role. That's me. I'm uncommitted.
The leading American diplomat in Afghanistan, Ambassador Ryan C. Crocker, will leave his post this summer for health reasons after serving less than a year. Yeah, he gets over there. Ryan Crocker gets over there and he's like, I'm not feeling very good.
I'm not feeling this.
I think I want to go. Who would ever want to be the American ambassador even to Afghanistan?
Right.
Good golly, man. Yeah, he's a little illness. And what they do is like they have a new one every month. Hey, man, come on, man. You want to be ambassador? Come on, man. The president needs you.
See the world.
Come on, man. Mikey likes it. Come on. Will you be ambassador to Afghanistan? Sure, man. Okay. I guess I will. The president appoints me to something better. Okay.
Free cable.
In 2013, Homeland Security. Can you mention what you can see on cable in Afghanistan? Well, look at the cows. Look at the crazy monkeys from India.
Look at that American soldier over there. What's he doing with that gun going to that village all alone?
With the roadside bombs. I mean, what do you watch on Afghan television? A 2013 Homeland Security Appropriations Bill would increase one-way fees for passengers from $250 to $250 to $5 in order to close the budget shortfall in TSA. See, we create a bureaucracy, and then it has a budget shortfall that we got to tax ourselves more. I'm telling you, hell in a handbasket.
Make it stop. Please make it stop.
Please stop the bleeding. We now go to an interview with John Travolta. John Travolta, what do you think of the increase from $250 to $5?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
By the way, has any more male masseuses come out and said that he tried to do the Travolta?
I don't think so.
If you haven't heard, the Travolta... No, I'm not going to get that. Congressional Republicans are divided over what to do if the Supreme Court strikes down all or part of that. I'll tell you what you do. If they strike down any of it, you have a beer and some champagne and say, hoorah!
And you start all over.
That's right. A recent independent poll showed Obama running just 7 points ahead of John Wolf, a Tennessee lawyer in southern Arkansas 4th District, which covers 1/4 of the state. Obama's got some problems, man.
A Tennessee lawyer
Yes.
winning in Arkansas.
It's like the guy that almost won West Virginia, who's in prison in Texas. There's no rules anymore if you want to run for president of the United States. I'm just going to put Bulldog on every ballot in America next time. Bulldog.
You realize how much you're hurting this man's self-esteem.
I'm beating him up, aren't I? Pow, pow, pow. What's that? Where's that punch? Where's that punch that you got? That's a great bit. This is the Bulldog every morning with Barack Obama.
It's in there somewhere.
Okay, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
We'll find it.
Ron, Senator Orrin Hatch. I'd like to go through the. How would you like to go? I'm slap happy. Sleep deprivation. How would you like to go through life with the name Orrin? Hey, Orrin. Orrin led a one-man conservative uprising in Utah 1976. He's trying to hold off a primary challenger. We'll see what happens. There we go. Voters remain pessimistic about the nation's future, uncertain of Obama's ability to set the economy on the right course, according to the Wall Street Journal NBC News poll. Oh, get this. Barack Obama's campaign, they're so hard up for money. To raise money, they're selling things like doggy sweaters and cat collars. And guess what the cat collars say, TC?
Meow?
This is embarrassing. Yes. I meow for Michelle. I want to throw up. The President of the United States is trying to sell cat collars. I meow for Michelle. Hell in a handbasket. Let me see what else I got.
Meow for her, but
Governor Andrew M. Cuomo of New York took control of horse racing in the state on Tuesday, announcing he was creating a new board to replace the New York Racing Association in hopes of reforming a scandal-plagued industry that generates hundreds of millions of dollars for the state. And they got the Belmont, they got Saratoga. What's going on with the horse industry in New York? I'd say the horse industry that's looking good. Number 1, 2, and 3 in the Derby were California horses. Same thing in the Preakness. I mean, the California horses are doing well.
I still think Mitt Romney's going to take them both.
Yeah, I think so. Let me see. The decision by Facebook CFO David Eberson to boost the number of shares offered may have doomed any real chance the social networking had of stock. You know, this is amazing, folks. Remember what I tell you about don't let people think that they're smarter than you just because of the position they hold? Just think about all the smart people involved with Facebook. Zuckerberg, his lawyers, the investment bankers. You've got NASDAQ. You've got all these really, really, really smart people. And it all got screwed up on like 64 fronts. Does Prankster have something witty or wise to say?
He has a
He
question.
needs to step up his game.
Yeah, he has a question for you.
Prankster, you're on Real Talk 1160.
Yes. How much did it cost the guy down there in Texas to get on the ballot to be president? You know,
I have no idea.
I was told it was $2,500 by a couple of people, and I just don't know if that's true, though. You know what I mean?
Well,
Now, couldn't we gather up $2,500 here in Cincinnati, and at least put the Bulldog on the ballot? You know,
No.
why not? Wouldn't you want to be on the ballot?
I want to be on the ballot everywhere.
No.
Yeah, but if we do it here, I mean, if we get $2,500 and put you on the ballot for president, maybe it would catch on.
Yeah, but if Bulldog's doing 6 fundraisers a day, he's not going to have time for the radio show.
Oh, he could do the radio show at the fundraisers and take you, TC.
Oh, okay.
That's what we'll do. That's a great idea, Prankster. We'll do remote control. Not remote control. We'll do remote radio shows from fundraisers.
As long as I get a free meal, I'm all for it then.
Is that all you care about is your stomach, TC?
Well, yeah, that and Robin Mead, pretty much.
Robin Mead. We got to listen to it all day, folks. The first commercial spacecraft intended to dock with the International Space Station reached orbit, including the strongest sign yet that private companies are moving closer. Hi, this is Bulldog Air Travel, Space Travel.
Unfortunately, their luggage went to Mars.
So I'm getting everything else. I might as well get in charge of space travel. Get on that, Brad.
Yeah.
We come back. More Radio Superbity. Herman Cain's on Fox News. 999-888. On Real Talk 1160.
1160. Real Talk 1160 with the Huckabee Report coming up in 11 minutes. Mike Huckabee at 8:30 on Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog.
This is the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Having fun with you.
Do you have some more text over there?
Electronics retailer Best Buy posted a 25% drop in quarterly earnings.
Uh-oh.
That reflected restructuring costs and weak sales. Weak sales because people don't have jobs. They don't have jobs. They don't have money to spend. That's what's going on, TC. While Wall Street moved into crisis mode over Facebook's fumbled initial public offering, employees at the company's Silicon Valley headquarters just shrugged. They didn't care. They're not worried. Why? Because they're all billionaires, millionaires.
They're not hungry anymore.
Let me see, what else do we have in world news? Egyptians vote Wednesday in an historic presidential vote that is poised to shake up notions of what democracy will mean in the Arab world. It's a joke.
They don't know. This is probably the first. I heard somebody say this. This is the first time that they're going to vote, and they don't know who the winner is going to be.
They don't know how to vote. They're not used to voting. It's a cluster mess, man.
Think about that. I mean, that's an American thing. When we have an election, we don't know who the winner is going to be.
Yeah. We have to file lawsuits to know, don't we?
Something like that. But over there, now this is kind of new for them. Might be liberating.
This is an interesting story in USA Today, TC, from today. Automakers are pushing factories and workers to the limit to try to meet demand for new vehicles. Ford Motor Company and Chrysler Group are cutting out or reducing a 2-week July shutdown. They're trying to hit capacity. They're working overdrive. Chrysler Detroit plant making the Jeep is working overtime 5 days a week and Saturdays. Volkswagen adding 800 workers in Tennessee to plant so the plant can run 20 hours a day, 6 days a week. Hyundai, a new third shift of 877 is being added to Montgomery, Alabama. Toyota, more than 1,000 jobs are being added to 5 U.S. plants. You know what it is since 2008, everybody's car was in such bad shape. Shocks, exhausts, brake systems. Everybody ran their car into the ground. Now everybody needs a new car.
Right, yeah.
That's the problem. It's kind of like the cars are in such bad shape. It's like, man, I got to finally buy a new car. So the demand is there. Thank goodness the demand is there. Did he hear about what went on in Crittenden?
I don't know. I think he wants to talk about Herman Cain.
Okay. Glenn, you're on Real Talk 1160.
What's going on, Eric?
I'm just rejoicing in the Tea Party victory by Thomas Massey.
Where did he win?
4th Congressional District in Northern Kentucky.
Oh, okay, Kentucky. Whew. I thought it was on this side of the river.
What do you think about 42% of Kentuckians in the Democratic primary voted uncommitted over your president?
Well, it's Kentucky. I mean, that's like asking me what do I think about West Virginia. I mean, it's the same, basically the same people, the same population, the same kind of.
Why don't you like the good people of Virginia and West Virginia and Kentucky?
I'm just saying that historically, that's just been Kentucky and Virginia. I mean, it's kind of the same voting demographic. That's not a surprise.
They're good Americans.
Well, I never said they weren't good Americans.
So what did you have for today, Glenn?
Well, I heard you talking about Herman Cain on Fox News, and I was just wondering if Herman's doing the old singing and dancing move. But I also wanted to know, did you see Colin Powell on with Sean Hannity?
Yes, I did.
There is a reason why Democrats and Republicans, a lot of us, like Colin Powell because he put Sean Hannity in his place. Basically, to go back to an old WWE name, he put the smackdown on Sean Hannity. He called him out about Reverend Wright, about Bill Ayers. It's so funny because Sean was just sitting there like a whoop puppy dog because you can't mess with Colin Powell. I mean, he's probably one of the most respected Republicans that you have out there. A person that like I said, both sides.
I used to respect Colin Powell until he did this. He knew that the war in Iraq would be a disaster, and he fought it. And instead of doing his duty to the American people and resigning, instead he went out and sold what he knew was a fraud.
Well, actually, he didn't know that
to United Nations.
Well, actually, he didn't know it was a fraud. He was given the same bad information, false information.
He knew it was bad, though.
The American people. Well, you know what, Eric? It's funny because what I found even more despicable is that you're going to call Colin Powell out for not standing up and being an honorable person. But what do you say about all those right-wingers, Tea Party types, and conservatives that just played right along with the president's WMD argument? As a matter of fact, Aaron Coulter wrote a book to anybody that disagreed with the war. It was called Treason. You know, Sean Hannity said it is un-American. Hell, you basically ran the Dixie Chicks out of America because we all knew that the weapons of mass destruction argument was a lie to begin with. So for you to try to put this on Colin Powell when you have a complete party full of people that just went along to get along because they're conservatives and that's what conservatives do.
I stood with everybody that said that George Bush was a horrible president.
Well, we're not talking about a horrible president. We're talking about a lie that cost, 5,000, 7,000 lives of young men and women. That's a big difference than just having a bad economic policy that Republicans have had for the last 30 years.
Glenn, I got to ask you a more important question. There is a rumor that there is a superhero with a mask and a cape that is walking the downtown Cincinnati streets at night, and he calls himself Captain Race Card. Is that you?
No, I think people who say that are just upset that I'm a 44-year-old African-American male, married father of two, live out in the suburbs, and none of the right-wing talking points actually work against me. I mean, what are you going to say? My parents didn't emphasize education. Let me see. I received some type of welfare or unemployment benefits. I've never been on welfare, never received unemployment. I have a college education. I know the facts, and they put on their pants the same way you do, talk back when I was a young kid. And since I grew up in the upper middle class...
Then how did you become such a flaming liberal?
Well, actually, there's nothing wrong with being a liberal. It was liberals that fought against the women's suffrage movement. It was liberals that fought for the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. It was liberals that fought against slavery. It was conservatives that wanted all
liberals. It was the Republicans that voted against slavery. The Southern Democrats, racists, upheld it all.
Right. You're absolutely right, Eric.
Republicans were more liberal then.
But those Republicans were liberals.
Yeah.
And those Southern Democrats...
Well, when I'm talking about liberal, I'm talking about, Glenn, I'm talking about the liberal, Teddy Kennedy liberal from the 1960s through today. And... God, Glenn gives me a headache. Well, TC, you make me take his call?
I like Glenn.
Glenn gives me a headache.
You know what? If everybody called in and agreed with you, this would be one boring radio show.
I think it'd be an awesome radio show.
Now, you would. Yeah, you think that. You want to be the king.
I am the king.
Why don't you run for president of Egypt?
TC, do you know the name Eric means king? Do you know what the name Glenn means? Subservient to the king.
You're gonna get him fired up now. You're gonna get him fired. Glenn is not the enemy.
Brad, will you check out what the name Glenn? I'm gonna have Brad check out what the name Glenn means.
Glenn is not the enemy. Glenn is a very patriotic American. He's very passionate. You guys just have different views. Opposite views, but he's still very, very passionate about this country. You can't knock a guy for that, whether he agrees or disagrees.
What if he's wrong? Well, see, I'm one of these people.
What if he's right?
See, I'm one of these people, TC, that when everybody talks about we don't need obstruction in Washington, we need everybody to cooperate, I say BS. Because sometimes a position is right, and sometimes a position is wrong, and there should not be, like, for example, the balanced budget. There's no people like Glenn, for example, somebody like you defend. I mean, there's no way that you could defend, in my humble opinion, the fact that we do not have a balanced budget. And Barack Obama, Glenn, Harry Reid, and the whole Nancy Pelosi and all of them, they don't care about that. They don't care that we're spending $1.5 trillion a year more than we should.
No, I think they do. But then you got to think, too, like Mitch McConnell. You know, all he's been working on the past 4 years is making sure that President Obama is a one-term president. That's not why we sent him down there. We sent him down there to find his jobs.
I speak for all Bulldog Nation. Let's hope he's a one-term president. The Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Ben Thunderstruck. Joining us in the studio. Hello, Dr. Kurtzman.
Good morning, Eric. How are you?
Dr. Kurtzman joins us from Kurtzman Plastic Surgery Group. How's your week been?
So far, so good. It's been a very, very busy week. Lots of surgery this week. People getting ready for the summer.
Are you doing breast augmentations?
We're doing breast augmentation, tummy tuck, breast reduction, liposuction, facelifts, eyes. We're doing it all this week.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm glad that you are working hard because there's a lot of people out there. We're lucky to have jobs, if you know what I mean.
I'm blessed to have a job, and I'm blessed to have the job that I have. I just love what I do.
Now, you are Jewish, but I have to ask your opinion about this because I think it's not only historic, and I also think it's not only, how should I say this, significant, but I also think it's kind of funny. On Monday, there were 12 federal lawsuits filed by 43 Catholic plaintiffs. I mean, the Diocese of New York, the Diocese of Washington, the Catholic University of Washington, the University of Notre Dame, against Barack Obama administration's birth control mandate. And, you know, he won the quote-unquote Catholic vote last time around. I don't think he's going to win it this time around. But, and of course, June, we could hear a decision from the Supreme Court about whether the mandate's constitutional, whether or not the Obamacare is constitutional or not. But it's really, really incredible that, you know, they've taken such a step as to file these actions in federal court. And Eric Holder's Justice Department's got a fan out now over all these different states defending these things. I mean, isn't it amazing that our president, you know, he's like so cavalier about, like, I'm going to bankrupt the coal industry. I'm going to pass this. He doesn't think ahead at all of the consequences of anything he does.
No, he doesn't. I think he acts without thought. I think he's getting a lot of bad advice from his advisors. It is kind of amazing. It's not the first time he's done it. It seems like it's time and time again he does this.
Valerie Jarrett runs the country, and that's pretty scary. I mean, you know, she just sits there and pulls Obama's string. She's like a puppet. Barack Obama is Valerie Jarrett's puppet. How would you like to be attached to Valerie Jarrett as she pulls the strings?
I don't want to be attached to any of that government.
You wouldn't want to be attached to any. Hey, Doc, I got to ask you, did you buy any Facebook stock?
No, I think I should sell it short, it looks like. It keeps dropping, huh?
You can sell it short, sell it low, sell it high, say goodbye. Yeah. It doesn't matter, man. You got to get rid of that stuff. Yeah. There's some people that don't even know whether they own it or not.
What about facelift book stock?
There you go. It's pretty amazing. But like they said, those guys out there don't care. Now, instead of being billionaires, they're just billionaires.
Can you imagine? I just got to. This would be an interesting, and I'll bet you that does depress you. If you have $1 billion worth of Facebook stock, and now you wake up and that Facebook stock is only worth $800 million, I'll bet you it's a depressing day.
I bet they're out cutting those coupons.
Now in reality, you're still filthy rich. But I bet you if you go from, you know what? I hope I have that feeling one day. God, I lost $200 million today, and now I only have $800 million left.
The good news is they're doubling coupons this week.
There you go. No, it is kind of amazing, but it's all paper money, and you know they had no money like that until the IPO. But it's just amazing how many people are now millionaires, multimillionaires, and billionaires from that.
You know, with respect to the all of that, it seems to me that all these smart people involved in the IPO, NASDAQ, the investment bankers, the lawyers, and they really screwed it up.
Yeah, they did. They really overrated how high it was going to come out. I think it's been so long and it's been so hyped up that it's not like Apple when it came out. It's not like Microsoft when it came out. But those were not worth billions of dollars when they came out.
I got to ask you a more serious question. Have you traveled to India in your travels as a plastic surgeon to help people?
That is one of the few places I have not gone. I've had many offers to go there, just haven't had the opportunity. The group that I go with, Operation Smile, does go to India many times a year.
Have you received any emails or phone calls to come to India immediately to do emergency plastic surgery for Indians attacked by crazy wild monkeys?
I have not.
Did you realize that the monkeys are getting out of India? You have to feed them twice a day by law, and the monkeys are going bonkers and are starting to attack Indians.
I was absolutely unaware. I am enlightened this morning.
This is according to the New York Times
Why
report.
would the doc have any knowledge of this?
You don't know if you don't ask.
There you go.
Listen to this, Doc. We have trapped 13,013 monkeys since 2007, said RBS Tyagi, Director of Veterinarian Services for Delhi's principal city government. Nonetheless, Delhi's monkey population has increased.
Wait, Delhi, isn't that on the west side here?
Oh, look out.
Are there-
Monkeys on the west side.
Are the monkeys, if you live in Delhi and you are having a monkey problem, if they're attacking your dogs and eating your cats, please call. You know, I watched that movie Chimpanzees, and I always thought, like, from watching Cheetah from Tarzan, chimpanzees seem cute and cuddly, and these chimpanzees, I didn't realize, they're as big as gorillas and apes.
Oh, yeah, and they're
A
very...
full-grown chimpanzee is like an ape.
They're very powerful, too. That's that one case in Cleveland, the Cleveland Clinic, where the chimp actually tore off both arms and the face of a woman. It was a pet chimpanzee, and that was one of the first face transplants in the country.
That hurts. That hurts.
Yeah,
to have your face torn off hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize chimpanzees were that aggressive or that strong, really.
You don't feed them. If you don't feed them, they get hungry.
They're very powerful animals.
Well, you know,
I'm cracking myself up with that one.
You're loving that, I know. I was just thinking, we got Memorial Day weekend coming up, the unofficial kickoff of summer. Everybody's going to want to get into their little scantily clad bikinis. You have a lot. You said you're busy this week, huh?
Very busy, yes.
What about people that say, like, have had some sort of surgery and they may have a scar? Can you remove scars? Is there a way to do that?
Well, you can't remove scars. It depends what type of surgery, what it was from, how bad it is. We can improve scars, but once you've had a scar, people have this magic connotation that maybe laser and everybody's coming in to take the scar away. You can't take scars away. We can make them look better. We can do things to hide them. When we do surgery, we always try to hide the scars in bikini lines and bra lines, etc., so people do not see them.
Okay. Well, that's smart. That makes sense.
Are you going to ride as the Grand Marshal in any Memorial Day parades, Dr. Kurtzman?
I have not yet been invited, but I would be thrilled to share a car with you.
I want to tell you right now, Memorial Day is a wonderful holiday because it's a 3-day weekend. It kicks off the summer. Pools are open. There's grill outs. And we also do a pretty good job in this country honoring our veterans. I mean, most of these parades they have veterans involved in the parades. They have memorial services at cemeteries. And I think America does a pretty good job on Memorial Day. And everybody's generally in a good mood as the summer kicks off. The weather looks like it's going to be pretty decent. But I like Memorial. I tell you right now, I like any 3- and 4-day weekends.
It's all good. Yeah, and I saw this weekend it's supposed to be 96 degrees. So it's a good thing those pools are opening. I'll encourage everyone out there to use their sunscreen. We're seeing lots of skin cancers.
You know, my wife wanted me to buy a piece of furniture for our back terrace, and I forgot to order it. So I've lied. God, I hope she's not listening. And I said, well, I'll check on that when I really got to order it in the first place.
Well, that's checking on it.
Have you ever done that? Like you go, hey, when's such and such coming? I'll check. It should have been here by now.
Well, that's a true statement. It should have been there by now. You didn't order yet, but it should have been there by now.
Do you have a built-in swimming pool?
I do not, and I have no interest in one.
You know, I've got to tell you something. When you reveal a secret on the radio, it ain't a secret anymore.
It isn't?
Well, if he
No
says
way.
it's a secret.
Hey, everybody in Bulldog Nation, keep that secret.
Don't tell his wife.
You know what? I think she has designated listeners to listen and report anything I say. I got to be really careful about commenting about the Maxim Top 100 list.
Big Brother is
By the way,
watching.
they do not need any of your work.
They've already had it. They've already had it.
I mean, oh, by the way, I can't believe, I got to tell you this. That man, that transgender girl in Miss Canada,
Yeah.
okay, she didn't win Miss Universe Canada, but I watched, like her in her swimsuit thing. I'm not kidding you. She don't look like a man.
No, she
And
would.
in fact, somebody said it was really unfair because she got her professional work done to where she's kind of. I kind of felt uncomfortable. I mean, she looked incredible.
They can look very incredible. They have lots of work done, but they do look very good.
She didn't look like no man. We come back. More on this on Real Talk 1160.
Why don't you stick around with us all day? Got a great lineup right after Radio Superbity. It's your healthy radio addiction. Laura Ingram, 9 to noon. Then we have Mike and Mike, Savage at noon, Huckabee at 3, followed by Real Sports with the Wild Man. And now, back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. When you get tired, what is the effect of being tired all the time have on your face? And is there anything you can do about it as a plastic surgeon?
Well, that's a great question, because a lot of people come in and say, well, people say I look tired, and I'm not tired. I feel great. I have a lot of energy. I do stuff. But when people say you look tired, it's always related to the eyes. It's when the eyes get too heavy. You may get dark circles under your eyes. There could be many different things that we do. It can range from some Botox injections to some skin peels. It can also be some filler where there's what we call a tear trough, which is that crease underneath your eyes that also makes you look tired. Sometimes people need surgery to get the eye tuck and a brow lift. Sometimes we can actually do the eye tuck right in the office under local anesthesia. You can drive yourself to the office. Very short, quick procedure that gives great results. And people say you don't look tired anymore. They don't say, gee, you had your eyes done, because we don't want people to know that they had it done. We want them to say, gee, you look great, you look rested, you've been on vacation, you're doing something different with your hair, that type of thing. So really, when you look tired, it's always related to the eyes. And a lot of times, most times, you're not even tired.
You know, I've been getting more sleep, and I feel better because I'm getting more sleep.
Yeah, you were kind of burning the candle on both ends for a while.
You know, sleep's important, Doc. I don't know if you know this, but sleep is very important for your health.
It is. Thank you. I love when you teach me medicine. No, but that's so true. People just don't get enough sleep. They burn the candle from both ends. Especially growing kids need so much sleep, and they're just overscheduled, and they're doing stuff. They end up doing their homework till 11, 12 o'clock at night, having to get up at 6. It's not a good situation for mental or physical health.
I got to ask you a question. In your social circles, what are you hearing out there about the presidential election? I'm assuming you socialize with our doctors?
I do, and I hear a lot of things. Yeah, there's some staunch liberals and there's staunch conservatives in the doctor community. It's so funny to see some of the staunch liberals, what they say. I mean, they just, I think they have their heads hidden somewhere. But the statistics they come up with, I mean, it's just the old, bait and switch. They're blaming everybody else for all the problems of the country. And this crap, give me 90 days, change. It's like, well, yeah, it's changed. The economy's gotten worse. The deficit's gone up. It's like enough already. It's like, really, if you're either a staunch Democrat or you're just not paying any attention to what's going on in the country, if you can even consider voting for Obama.
I'm hearing a lot about the young people aren't going to, quote unquote, get fooled again. In other words, when Barack Obama, they used the word rock star and all that stuff. He's got none of that anymore. People don't buy it, aren't buying that, aren't going to buy it. By the way, this is important. I thought that Glenn's name meant subservient to the king. Eric means king. But I was wrong. We looked up what the word Glenn, the name Glenn means. To all you Glens out there, Glenn means narrow valley between mountains.
That seems appropriate.
Narrow valley between mountains. We could say narrow-minded, narrow valley, narrow-minded, narrow valley between mountains of kings.
Or you could look at it as something very deep.
He's always taken up for Robin Meade and Glenn. Robin Meade could commit mass murder. He would defend her.
He defends the oppressed.
He defends Glenn and Robin Meade. You cannot say anything bad about Robin Meade or Glenn from Mason, Dr. Kurtzman. I'm glad you're in here so I don't feel outnumbered.
I have to defend anyone who's brave enough to call this station.
Well, I think both of them are
513-579-1160.
I think they're both backers of Greenwater. I think that's what's going on here.
Hey, could we get some money out of Robin Meade? Why don't you write her one of those not creepy stalker letters, but just perfect tone that Robin Meade would maybe invest in Greenwater?
That would be great if we could. You know what I think would be even better?
She could be our spokesperson.
I'll write her a letter.
The other guy's a microphone.
I'm a 17-year-old kid suffering from acneitis. Would you go to the prom with me? You know, like you see all these stories
I
now.
know.
Celebrities
I know.
going to prom with someone with some, and then she show up at my house like, "Hey, I lied. I'm not 17 and I don't have acne. You want to go out anyway?" Maybe she's already in town.
True story. I've gotten a couple invitations from a couple young girls from the tri-state that asked me to be their prom date, and I respectfully said no. All you would do is get in trouble.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I said, heck no. I'm not kidding. I got 3 invitations. People wanted me to be their prom date. Bulldog, I'm a fan of yours. I'm your friend on Facebook. Will you be my prom date? I'm like, thank you. That's very nice of you, but I can't.
See, what it is that Facebook picture, kind of like the stock. There's a whole, like Jay Leno said, it's a whole lot sexier than the actual thing.
You're talking about them or me?
Them.
Or maybe they'll want you to talk at their graduation. Have you been asked to do that yet?
I have not been asked. If there's, and I would do that. I would like to speak, because you know what? My speech would be poignant. It would be brief, clear, concise, and memorable.
Poignant?
Poignant. The shortest speeches are always the best speeches. These people that go rambling and rambling and rambling. Oh, my God. I can tell you right now I'm pretty impressed with. I went to a lot of Simon Kenton High School graduations the last few years because of all our kids graduating through there. And I tell you right now, these young people, the presidents of the class, the valedictorians of the class, they gave some great speeches. I mean, they were short, they were concise, they were good.
Well, so you're lucky because your last name is Deters, so your kids graduate early. Okay, Summers, you got to sit through the whole thing. You know, they're almost to the end of the line.
There you go.
Now, Dr. Kurtzman could give the always wear sunscreen.
Have you ever given a commencement address?
I have not. I've given lots of speeches, but never commencement. I saw one of the Blue Angels, a Cov Cath graduate, was just there yesterday giving
John
their
Hiltz.
commencement.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
exciting.
played basketball with that guy at Four Seasons when he was at Covington Cat. He's a good kid. He's a hell of a basketball player. And you know what? Filthy, filthy rich. No, seriously, I forget the backstory, but his dad's a doctor. And unless it's a cousin, but I'm pretty sure his dad's a doctor. But his mother was inherited a boatload of money from famous, so.
And he's got a nice plane.
And he's got a nice plane. Well, he could afford to buy the plane.
And we talk about a pickup. Hey, you want to go for a ride in my Blue Angel plane?
You know what? That would have to be a great pickup line. Would you like to see my Blue Angel?
Right. Would you like to go on my Ford F1, whatever you got?
Have you ever done that? That's something else. See, I get sick on roller coasters, but I would still like to take a Dramamine, or whatever it's called, and get in the back of an F-16 and let somebody just take off. Don't do any loops. But that would have to be have you ever done that? That would be a neat thing to do.
I have not, but I know someone that did who got sick as a dog.
See, I would too. I'd throw up.
Sick as a dog.
George Bush did it when he flew in, mission accomplished. People don't realize he pressed the eject button. We discussed this. He pressed the eject button, was ejected from the plane. They had to go pick him up and fly him in on another plane. They had to pull him out of the water. He wanted to feel like his dad when his dad got shot down.
Somewhere over the Indian Ocean.
Somewhere over the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, I'm with you. The kids drag me to Kings Island every year, and they made me go on Diamondback once.
Ooh, once.
And I get sick as a dog. When I was a kid, my brothers used to love to take me on the rides because I would puke, and then they'd get another free ride. Every time.
I got to ask this question because I used to be able to do it. Now I can't. I understand roller coasters. They're fun. I don't understand the concept behind rides that just spin around in circles. Just spin around in circles over and over. What the heck? It's like, why go to a horror movie and why get on a ride that just goes around in circles?
Different strokes for different folks.
Any final comments as we wrap up, Doc?
No roller coasters for me. Busy time now at Kurtzman Plastic Surgery, 513-891-4440. Mention 1160 Real Talk, and you get a nice discount.
I like that. Any final words from you, Mr. Greenwater, TC?
Just reminding everybody, Florence Freedom back at Rockford tonight, and Steve Jarnicki has the game. Now, actually, not tonight, it's this morning. 10:50 is a pregame, and then the game will start at 11 o'clock, first pitch here.
This morning?
60. Yep, that's what it says.
They're going to interrupt Laura Ingram with baseball. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Hope tomorrow's yours. We're getting closer to the Memorial Day weekend. I'll be back tomorrow with some radio superbity on Real Talk 1160.